Good evening and welcome to the Commentary coverage of this Championship clash between Watford and Sheffield United. Is the clash that sees relegated Watford, relegated out of the Premier League last year, take on the Sheffield United side who missed out on promotion to the Premier League, losing in the playoffs to Nottingham Forest, who went up, beating Huddersfield in the playoff final. Huddersfield, you may have heard it on the country about the weekend, so their championship campaign with a defeat to recently relegated Burnley. Well, Sheffield United also go the same route and fall to relegated Watford. They're taking place at Vicarage Road, and we've got a man in situ ready for that game to bring you all the coverage. A very good evening to Mike as well, who has just tuned into us this evening. Hopefully you're doing okay, Mike, this evening. Myself and JB will be guiding you through this game. Well, I'll be taking a break as soon as the teams are in the tunnel to hand over to JB to bring you all the important team news and the much needed build up for this game. So, it's just to quickly run you through yesterday's results in the Championship. Sunderland won, Coventry City won was the result yesterday. I'll go through Saturday's results and mention Friday's results in full from the weekend so far in the Championship. Also, I just want to say a big congratulations to our England Lionesses. Football is home. They beat Germany in the European Championship final yesterday at Wembley 2-1, and a fantastic commentary was done by Nicholas Jones, and your man who's on commentary tonight was in the hot seat on presenting duties this evening. All set and ready to go, and the teams are about to come out any second now ahead of kick-off between Watford and Sheffield United. Should be what is going to be an enthralling game. Hopefully plenty of goals in the action for us all to hear JB call. And Watford, just looking at the teams going across, similar sort of formation to what Sheffield United are playing in the end for Watford. Tonight should be a very good game. This one, I'm really looking forward to giving you all the build-up to action when the game kicks off in a few minutes' time. Been listening to a bit of coverage from another channel elsewhere in the build-up to this game from a Sheffield United angle, and they're expecting Sheffield United to win. They said it's not really a surprise that Daniel Jemison is starting today for the Blades after impressing when he's been out on loan last season to Burton Albion. And Paul Leckie-Bottom been listening to some of his pre-match thoughts, and some good stuff was said from Paul Leckie-Bottom. The Sheffield United manager will be getting ready to hand over to JB very, very shortly for what is expected to be a very, very good match. You're listening to the Commentary coverage of the EFL Championship clash between Watford and Sheffield United. If you want to follow us and find out what's coming up on the channel, you can do so just on Twitter at Commentary Live 1. You can also visit the Facebook page, facebook.com/the Commentary Hub. And now with the teams in the tunnel ahead of kick-off, which is very much fast approaching, it's time for me to hand over to your match commentator. Welcome back to the channel on a commentary basis after delayed coverage of the weekends. He did a good job in that one, so we thought, let's put him on the live one tonight. It is Watford against Sheffield United, and he's in the company of John JB Stuttard. John, it's all yours.
Thank you, Ross. And yes, I'm revved up for another season of live action with the TC Hub and everything else. As the teams come out the tunnel, it's a bit after the Lord Mayor's show, after what the Lionesses did last night, and I echo Ross in what he says about how the Lionesses did, and they were fantastic. And the team's getting a good reception from all sides of Vicarage Road. Watford now under new managership after the departure of Roy Hodgson. They've got Rob Edwards in charge, the ex-Forest Green manager and England under-16s. Won promotion with Forest Green last season. and he becomes the latest manager under the guidance of the Posso family, who have owned Watford for something like a dozen years and have probably gone through, I don't know, about 25 managers in that time since they sacked Sean Dyche when they first took over all those years ago. Paul Heckingbottom in charge of Sheffield United. So the two teams then for today's game, or tonight's game: Backman in goal, back three: Cabazelli, Cathcart and Siriota, Kamara, Cleverly, Kaibi and Seaman are midfield three, and we think Yao Pedro were playing behind the front two, which will be Emmanuel Dennis and Sarr. On the bench, Hamer, Nagia, Trust, Eong, Menage, Gosling, Aspiria and Bayo. They're the substitutes in the first squad picked by the new manager, Rob Edwards. Sheffield United with Brett Bodmingham in goal. And then it's a back three of Clark, John Egan and Edna Stevens. Then it's George Baldock, Colin Norwood, John Fleck and Norrington Davis. Sander Berg again will play in the number 10 role behind Jebison, or in front of just behind Jebison and Indai, who are the two centre forwards. Amaziah, Brewster, Sharp, Kadira, Lowe, Osborne and Gordon are the substitutes selected by Paul Heckingbottom. Well, it's another season of Championship football. All started at Burnley Huddersfield Burnley. Great win for Simpsons Company's Clarets, who I watched as a spectator the other night, and they were superb. There've been some terrific wins for out of the three demoted sides, one has won, one has lost. Norwich lost an ill-tempered game at Cardiff on Saturday. Burnley, of course, outplaying Huddersfield in every department the night before. And now it's down to Watford's new manager to see what his side can do. Practically most of the side that went down last season are still here this season. There was a lot of talk that maybe Ismail Assar or Emmanuel Dennis may have gone on to bigger Premier League clubs. But to be fair to Rob Edwards, he's kept hold of them to his internal credit. He was appointed the manager on May the 11th, just after the relegation was confirmed, taking over, of course, from Roy Hodgson. Paul Heckingbottom now has been in the job for about a year, full-time, took over last season. Has got the third most points and two most wins in the Championship since appointment, and that's why Sheffield United are certainly in amongst the promotion candidates when talk of the possible promotion contenders was mooted at the start. I certainly have them as certain playoff contenders, and again, the same could be said for Watford, although you'd still expect them to be challenging for automatic promotion alongside the likes of Burnley and one or two others. As the Watford players are taking a knee, Sheffield United clapping rather than taking a knee, but it's all for the same cause, to promote the fact that there's no room for racism in any walk of life as well as football, and Sheffield United get their season underway away from home in the red and white stripes, both in traditional colours incidentally, both have dark shorts, but the difference is Watford are in their all yellow kit, all yellow shirts with white yellow stockings, and Sheffield United are in the red and white stripes, famous red and white stripes, black shorts, black stockings. Early touch there for Daniel Backman, who's the goalkeeper for Watford these days. No Ben Foster, he's been released by the club. There's a really nice channel on YouTube called The Cycling Goalkeeper. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's actually quite good content on there. Promotion odds: Norwich are 64 on. Watford 7-4, Sheffield United 15-8, Burnley 2-1, Middlesbrough 94, and West Brom didn't get the odds there, but West Brom are up there too. So about 6 or 7 teams that have got a good chance maybe of promotion this season. Not quite full at Vicarage Road. There is a few empty seats in the stand away to my right, but there's a good following down from the Steel City back in Sheffield United this evening, and it'll be interesting to see how they go on as Norwood gets the ball forward. Down the line it goes. Number 36 holds that one up. That's Jebison, and Jebison gets it out again. Good start from Sheffield United. 3 points are crucial. Millwall and Hull are joint top with Burnley third. In fact, Blackburn won by a really good goal. I hate to say it from a Burnley fan's point of view, but Travis's goal against won the game for them on Saturday was an absolute cracker. Luton held against Birmingham. Norwich losing out at Cardiff in an ill-tempered game on Saturday. So it's all happened in the Championship this weekend. It's all been forgotten about quite rightly, because of the success of the Lionesses yesterday. So we'll just have to wait and see. But at the moment, the early exchanges have been played by Sheffield United, but Norwood has lost the ball. Here goes Ishmael, number 25, Emmanuel Dennis. He's a top player, scored some crucial goals for Watford, even though they went down last season, including an equaliser at Villa. Dennis hasn't kept it in by the byline as Watford broke down the right-hand channel, and the goal kick it is to Sheffield United, and whose goalkeeper Res Bobringham, formerly of Rangers, of course. Played up in Scotland for many, many years, mainly under Mark Warburton. When Stephen Gerrard took over, he decided on Alan McGregor replacing him, and Fotheringham had gone elsewhere. Started his career, Fotheringham, incidentally, at Swindon Town in terms of actual game time football, and has moved up the ranks and had a good spell at Rangers. And to play for a club as big as Rangers, and that's going to be the pinnacle of his career. No disrespect to any of the other clubs, including the one he plays for. Good ball down the that side. Now then, a real opportunity with Jebison if he can keep that in. There was only... he could. If George Baldock was making a run towards the right-hand side of the penalty box, if he'd have picked him out, he could have had a shot at Daniel Backman's goal. But at the moment, both teams, the tempo is picking up, but it is quite a warm evening here at Vicarage Road this evening, and it will actually make for quite to see how it'll be interesting to see how the tempo of the game actually plays out throughout the 90 minutes in terms of how this might go away. Here's Baldock again going down the right-hand side. It looks as if it's going to be an important. Again, like all games, it's going to be important that the first goal will be essential to both sides in terms of how the game may pan out. But Sheffield United, again, sticking to their attacking principles under the previous manager, Chrissy Wilder, and that stand them in good stead. It did them in good stead a few years ago when they got promoted, when they got out of League Two. Oh, here's Emmanuel Dennis dropping the shoulder nicely, putting the defender off the fence, and now they could get a chance here. It's Ishmael Assar inside the area. Shaw shoots with the left foot, and it's into the left-hand side netting, and a good purposeful counter-attack, and it was led by that man again, Emmanuel Dennis. And it's amazing, really. It's a wonder, really, that some of the bigger Premier League clubs haven't actually posted an interest on him, because I think if you give him a chance at somewhere like an Aston Villa or an Everton, for example, I think he would absolutely be a fan's favourite there. And he's certainly been a fan's favourite since he's been at Watford for the last year or so. As I said, he has scored a few important goals for them, even though it ended in relegation last season. But they, and I think there's somebody, I mean, you look at the promoted teams that have gone up, maybe Forest could have gone in after him. He is a player that can get you a good 10 goals a season at the top level of a league. Absolutely certainty, that's for sure. And here's number 8 on the ball now, Sander Berg. Berg now plays it into space, picks out Ollie Norwood. Oliver Norwood now, former Reading player, former Huddersfield player, 29 is Ndiaye. Back to Sander Berg again. Baldock's crossed into the penalty area again. They like to use the wingers going forward, Sheffield United. That's always been a feature of their play going back to the Chris Wilder days. And it's something that they've always been accustomed to. Those 2 years when they won promotion and then finished in the top 10 of the Premier League in that heavily disrupted season for COVID was a wonderment to the club and the way it was managed at the time by Wilder. But obviously there was fallout between him and the club's owners at the time, and they wanted to go in a different direction to what the manager wanted. And I think Paul Heckingbottom has been a very inspired choice. He took over initially in a caretaker capacity and has done remarkably well since taking the job full time. So he's got a bit about him, Paul Heckingbottom. He's a very astute manager. So he knows what the Championship League is all about. And Rob Edwards at the moment, well, we'll have to wait and see. But he has managed England at under 16 level, and so he has managed internationally, albeit with the under 16s, practically the schoolboy level. So we'll just have to wait and see. Here's a break on here for Watford. Number 10 here on the ball is Yao Pedro. Gets it out to the far side. This is good football again for Watford. There are 2 in the middle for the cross from the right. One of them was Ishmael Sarr, and it's been turned away for a corner for Watford with 7 minutes gone on all TCR platforms. Both sides actually going for the jugular right at the start of the game. And I have to say, that is good. This is going to be good. How much they can keep it up for even in the middle of summer, we'll have to wait and see. We're now into August now. 1st of August today, as the ball was knocked back there by Seamer. So a corner kick then to Watford on the far side, right in front of the Sheffield United fans. Watford attacking the goal away to my left, flicked on there by Pedro. A little bit up and under-ish. Gary Owen more accustomed to being a Gary Owen than anything else. Here he is again. Pedro gets the ball in there. Again, Dennis and Sarr wait in the penalty box. Cleverly tests the ball down. Ball is kept in again. Here's Sarr, gets the ball. Ismail Sarr just gone to the ball to the right-hand side. But Cross gets a deflection. Sheffield United do well to keep it in play with John Fleck. And then the ball is knocked away once more. And just relative safety here for Sheffield United. And they've done really well. Hard to see what their numbers are because their numbers are black, and it's very hard to tell the difference. So apologies if I do misidentify a couple of their players. It's not easy. Watford's a little bit more easier to identify in terms of numbers. Oh no, I'll never have that nightmare. I'll never have as big as nightmare as I did at Nottingham Forest last year when Arsenal wore all white shirts and had white numbers on the back. I could not believe that for 1 second. Just seen Clark there on the ball there for a second or two. He wears number 26. That's a foul there on number 29, which is in Dye, and a free kick. The Sheffield United on their left-hand side. The far side as we look here at Vicarage Road. And Mendy scored in his last 3 league appearances. Comes from France. And French are very good at producing very good talents. Obviously not good enough to be anywhere near the French national squad, of course, for obvious reasons. But a free kick, though, to Sheffield United in a very promising position here. Should be some concern to Watford. So Norwood and Fleck are the 2-man committee. So it's going to be left to Oliver Norwood to curl it in with his right foot. Not a very good free kick from the man that was actually born in Burnley. Would you, Adam and Eve it? Yeah, it's true. Oliver Norwood was born in Burnley, but never made an appearance. But Burnley is not one of his previous clubs that he's played for. Came to prominence at Huddersfield Town many moons ago. It's Fotheringham kicks away. Headed back by Cabazeli. And then second ball won by Watford. Here's number 25 again, Emmanuel Dennis. Pedro then runs into the next ball. Cleverly chips it over. Again, looking for the run of Dennis inside the penalty area, but Wes Fotheringham quickly, as lightning out of his goal, takes possession, and Sheffield United can breathe again. 10 minutes gone on the TC Hub. JB Sports, TC Hub 2, Storm FM, JDAT Football, and Twitter. And those are the Facebook, YouTube platforms. And we're also live on Twitch. And it's Championship football for a Monday night. Watford 0, Sheffield United 0 in the last of the Championship matches to be played this afternoon. Or this evening, I should say. Sunderland 1, Coventry 1 was the result from yesterday. And Sunderland returning to life in the Championship with a point when really they could have had all 3, but Coventry snuck an late equaliser in at the Stadium of Light to earn the share of the spoils there in a 1-1 draw. So Sunderland could think themselves a bit disappointed about that, but it'll be another 45 games. There's been a lot of draws in the Championship this weekend. Of course, Blackpool had a good result. Sorry, Nicholas, against Reading. I didn't want to bring that up yesterday during commentary, really, because it was Nicholas's big moment. If I'd have told him that Reading had a bad defeat at Blackpool, I don't think he would have forgiven me that. But anyway, here comes Emmanuel Dennis towards the area. Emmanuel Dennis shoots, and it deflects in the air, but it's an easy one there for West Fotheringham to take quite comfortably. And there is no imminent danger now for Sheffield United, not for the moment anyway. That is for sure. So we've had a good 11 minutes of the first half. Still Watford 0, Sheffield United 0 in the Championship. And of course, if you want to know, of course, the coverage tonight is, of course, as it is for every game that we'll cover this season, is supported by the Melon streaming app, which is our streaming partner for the season. Don't forget to check out their website, incidentally, at www.melonstreamingapp.com. And of course, we're also on Twitter. If you want to follow us, you'll get all the latest football news from Russ mainly, who breaks all the news to you. Russ, Mike, the two brains behind the Twitter feed, at Commentary Live 1. And of course, the player of the match is sponsored by Barry Swain, another brain behind this fantastic concept that we've got here at the TC Hub. Barry Swain's Commentary Services, for the second year running, are sponsoring our Supplementary Player of the Match Awards. So, big shout to the Commentary Services for supporting us, for supporting that part of the thing for the next year, for at least another year. So well done to them. As the ball is not forward, and Baldock makes a good break, and that's going to be out of play. That's going to run out of play for a goal kick to Watford. So the opening 13 minutes, it's been quite a joust. Just the one big opportunity that came to Emmanuel Dennis, whose left-footed shot went into the left hand of the side netting, the wrong side that is. And really, there's not been too much in the way of Daniel Bachmann or Wes Foderingham having to make a substantial save. But the midfield battle's been very interesting to watch. And Watford almost committing defensive suicide there, but they're getting away to Tom Cleverly. Just about Cabazelli gets it forward. And Watford just in a little bit of a pickle there. KMB now for Watford. Finds Emmanuel Dennis, touches it back by him, and it's Craig Cathcart, the former Blackpool man. And there's a player down there, and it's Emmanuel Dennis. And referee Josh Smith from Peterborough has booked Clark. Josh Smith, the referee, has booked Clark. In fact, I didn't get the chance to go through the officials with you. So the referee, just for the record, the referee is Joshua Smith. He comes from Peterborough, so that's not too far down the road, Cambridgeshire. Two assistants are Matt Jones and Akil Howson, and Gavin Ward's the fourth official. So Kieran Clark, the former Newcastle man, into the referee's notebook. A foul there on Emmanuel Dennis. Said it was a silly foul, really. And it's given Watford a real opportunity now from this free kick. But they've decided to go backwards and able to try and go forwards, if you like. Both teams, as I say, just as Russ and I have been saying, are both matched up in formation. So 3-4-5, 3-4-1-2, or you could just say 3-5-2, whichever type of formation you want to use in a lot of respects. But they are playing with both sides are playing with a number 10 in behind their double strike forces, respective strike forces. So, and they could possibly do a fourth. Some of them could do a 3-4-3 as well, because the number 10 could actually act as a third striker. Anyway, here's number 29 Ndiaye running towards the area. The Frenchman, he's overhit the pass, and it's out of play for a goal kick. And that was a really good opportunity there for Sheffield United. And I think Ndiaye, when he looks back at the replay of that again, he would have thought twice. And he just needed to get his head up. I think he was he was asking him up there, his strike partner, Jebison, there. There was Jebison was not even in a 10-yard radius of that ball where it was just trickling out of play. That was just a bit of inexperience as Bachmann clears, gives it a big boot, 3/4 of the way down the field. It's still in possession for Sheffield United, and then the ball not back to West Foderingham from Kieran Clark. Now Baldock looking to get forward again at every conceivable opportunity. Still 0-0 if you've just joined us on all TCR platforms. It's still 0 as Bachmann takes the ball, or rather Foderingham takes the ball from an Emmanuel Dennis shot. Baldock just getting into a little bit of problem there, and just knocking the ball back. And it was Emmanuel Dennis here teeing it up there, and in the end it was Cabazelli teeing it up, not Cabazelli, Sarr teeing up for Emmanuel Dennis, and a goal kick has been given. And it's still 0-0 on all TCR platforms as we go into the 17th minute of the first half here at Vicarage Road, here on all the TCR networks, on YouTube and of course on Twitch. And good evening to all you Twitch listeners who are tuning into our coverage today. And of course you can open the chat. The chat facility is open. We'll try and read a few out in the break of play. Please keep your comments clean. And two, we saw a lot of self-promotion yesterday during the I'm sad to say, during the Women's Euro final for a dating website, I hope and pray that we don't get any of that. Because A, you won't get it read out, and B, there are moderators on, and they will ban you from it. So there we are. Match stats: 3 on target, 3 for Watford, none for Sheffield United, 1 on target for Watford. That was the scuffed effort from Emmanuel Dennis. Throwing now to Sheffield United, midway inside the Watford half. 0-0 if you've just joined us. Emmanuel Dennis has wasted the best opportunity where he shot left-footed into the left-hand side netting. But apart from that, not really much to write home about, apart from a very good intrinsic midfield battle. And referee Mr. Smith wants a word with Ndai there. Just a free kick, I think, has been awarded there to Watford. Josh Smith, a young lad from Peterborough. Not a referee that I've encountered in 7 years of commentary, so he must be one of the newer breed of referees. Daniel Backman to take the free kick then. Can you give this one a bit of backman Turner overdrive? Oh, have we not seen nothing yet? Anyway, goal kick comes in, headed away. It's not a good free kick, really. Didn't give it the backman Turner override, really. And it's something that we haven't seen too much of. As Watford get possession once again. Here's Craig Cathcart. Started his career as a youngster at Old Trafford, and then he went to Blackpool, who it has to be said, he really excelled in his time there under Ian Holloway, and then he's gone from there to Watford, and he's done really well. Mike Arnhem, Russ says none on JDAC football. Okay, we assumed it was on JDAC football. I definitely assumed it isn't. So let me just rejig the YouTube stuff then. So on YouTube, the participating channels are the TC Hub itself, TC Hub 2, which is Russ's channel, Storm Affair, which is Mike's, JB Sports, which is my channel, and those are the YouTube platforms, the participating YouTube platforms that the commentary hub feeds will be transmitted this season. And we're also transmitting on Twitch. We're not on Periscope anymore, and we're not on actually Twitter anymore. But we do have a Twitter handle for all the latest football news that Russ will supply you every day. As an early shot comes in, good effort from Ollie Norwood, who can crack them. We've seen him crack shots from about 25 yards and range before, and he was closely there for the mark. It wasn't, in fact, it was Sander Berg rather, with a right-footed effort. Hard to tell who's who in them with those black numbers on the back. It's very difficult. So it makes identification difficult. One player it was an accidental handball by Ishmael Sarr, and it was with Sheffield United's possession anyway. So referee Josh Smith, I think, quite rightly let the game flow a bit, and I think that's good. I like a referee, really, guys, just to see, guys and girls, just to see how the game flows and everything else. And we like to see that in any of our live TCO games, that you want to give a referee every chance now to let a game flow. And Josh Smith, I hope, is no different to the rule as the kick is knocked away. Be interesting to see how this next portion of the play. I mean, 20 minutes. I think both teams have sort of got used to each other now, and it's almost as if the game's just settling down. But it's almost as if both teams are starting to cancel each other out. Although Watford have had marginally the better chances in the first half. 21 minutes old, coming up to the halfway mark of the first half. Still 0-0 as the ball is out of play, and it will be a Sheffield United throw-in. Just to remind you, we're sponsored by the Melon Streaming app for the season. And we've got some more live football coming up later on Friday night, around about the same time. I'll tell you that in a second, because Watford are on the attack with number 14, Kamara, and it's out of play for Watford throw. We'll come back to that in just a second as Watford come forward, and that was a diving header from Emmanuel Dennis that goes wide of the mark, and a goal kick it is for Sheffield United as Dennis climbed high, but just too high, and the goal kick taken quickly again. as soon as we get a breaking play, I will tell you about what's happening later on. It's number 39 comes forward, Kaimi, and he's lost out. Clever is in there, and it's a free kick to Watford. A foul there on Kaimi. Referee Josh Smith not being tempted to blow up unless he absolutely necessarily has to. And maybe that's probably good for the game in some respects, because you want a referee that just wants to breathe, let the game breathe somewhat. So 22 minutes gone. So still 0-0. If you're listening on any of our platforms on YouTube or Twitch, please drop us a line. As I say, keep your comments clean. We are still a family programme. Here's Clever with a free kick. It's a bit deep, actually, and in fact, it's been kept in there by Seamer. And Seamer now tries to take on Sander Berg. There's Ismail Assar chipping it in. Got a slight deflection. Kamara will keep it alive. And, Dennis tried to keep it alive. He felt he was being pushed. The referee having none of it. And I think Dennis knew that. I don't think that was a penalty at all. I think Emmanuel Dennis was quite clear looking for it. There's a bit of a flashpoint here over on the far side. And Dyer was involved. Stevens is involved. Fleck's involved. For Sheffield United, there's a couple of others involved there. Clever involved there, the captain, and trying to figure out who else was involved. But poor old Josh Smith has got some sorting out to do here. He's surrounded by both sets of players, and it's all handshakes in the end. All in all, we're trying to calm everything down here. I'm just wondering if 31 was involved, Siriata as well. He was certainly one of the instigators as we hit the halfway mark in the first half. Yellow card to Fleck and a yellow card to Siriata. So I think the referee called it right there. John Fleck, of course, the nephew of Robert Fleck, the former Norwich player. This is what happened. Cleverly and Ndaya battling for it. There's a shirt pull there by the Watford captain. Then there's a clash of arms. Then there's shirt pulling, and then the Watford player, Serialta, goes in. Ndaya gets pushed to the ground. Cleverly gets pushed. Then Serialta goes in. And then Edgar Stevens gets involved. And then Fleck comes in and gives his own two-penneth in there. And nearly strangles the Watford player. All a bit of a crowd scene. Then John Egan gets involved. And Christ knows what else. But as far as I can make out. So it's John Fleck booked, Siriota booked. I'm surprised Edgar Stevens really didn't pick up a yellow card, but the referee has got an impossible job there because you've got several players rucking there all on the far side. And it's hard to estimate who starts who. And the referee's got to be showing his own mind who's been involved and who hasn't been involved. And it's a very difficult job. So we're not going to criticise Mr. Smith there on that incident because it's a tough job when players are rucking and there's no telling who starts what. Anyway, here's George Baldock now for Sheffield United. On it goes to Sander Berg. Sander Berg's cross comes away now. Number 39's got it. Kaibi. Kaibi now going down the left-hand side, but he's run out of pitch, and it will be a Sheffield United throw-in. So Francisco Serrata, the Chilean, is booked, and John Fleck, of course, need I tell you, is Scottish. He's also booked as well. I'm surprised Edgar Stevens didn't get a booking, but having said all that, it's very hard to say. This is the Emmanuel Dennis penalty incident. There's a bit of arm on him, but Dennis's reaction is quite delayed, and I think you've got to give credit there to Josh Smith. There's a bit of a shirt pull, but Dennis is well and balanced, and then it's a delayed reaction. I think in that respect, Mr. Smith got that one correct. There was no way in a million years. There's contact, there's a little bit of a shirt pull, but you don't get those given. If you get those given, referees would give 20 of them every season, wouldn't they? Anyway, Cathcart now in possession now for Watford. Still 0-0 if you're coming up to 26 minutes. It's still 0-0, but it's been a decent match. Not really too much in the way of clear-cut opportunities for either side, but in the opening stages, you don't want to get beaten. You want to at least keep an unbeaten record, if not keeping a 100% record at the start of a season. So there's always that to try and take into account at this stage. As Ismail Assar wins a throw-in, or concedes a throw-in, I should say. But the game now starting to get a little bit bitty. We've had that flashpoint, of course, and there is Norrington Davis, I should say. Not Norrington. He's going to take the long throw for Sheffield United. 0-0 is the score then here on all the TC Hub YouTube platforms, including JB Sports, Storm FM, and TC Hub itself, and the TC Hub 2. Paul Higginbottom there. We're also live on Twitch. And again, as I say, don't forget the Twitter handle. I'll give you all the news you need from the world of football, plus upcoming live matches and the commentary hub handle. The commentary hub handle is Commentary Live 1. Don't forget that, folks. So give us a try, give us a follow, and if you like a certain commentator, my Twitter handle is at JB Sports 11 if you want to know. Anyway, here's a chance for Watford inside the area, and it was a wonderful run by Seamer. Had made a great break, and Kieran Clark, remember, already on a yellow card, had to come across there and stop it at the very last. Because it looked as if Seamer was about to pull the trigger, and then at the last second, Kieran Clark came charging forward like the light of the cavalry and got a good foot in there. But an inspired run there by Seamer. It was a lovely bit of play there for Watford. And they do look the likely scorers of the first goal here. Cleverly, who can't hit them, goes it back out. A chance here for the shot from Kaibi, and it's way over the bar. Might have been a block there for Molly and Owen. It was. It's a corner to Watford, second in succession. 28 and a quarter and 3/4 minutes gone here on the TC Hub. Still Watford 0, Sheffield United 0. But Watford, after a quiet spell now, are starting to take good order in this game. 29 gone. Referee Mr. Smith just making sure that no one's pushing or jostling or shoving in any way at all. Otherwise, free kicks or penalties will be given to beat offenders. As that ball comes in, it was Cathcart who got up there. And in fact, Cathcart now chases the loose ball. And he'll keep it in play. And so he does. He finds Kaibi again. Ismail Sarr has it on the left-hand side. Towards the byline. Uses Cathcart on the left-hand touchline. Hugging that touchline. Plays a decent ball in, but not good enough really to find any of his colleagues in the penalty box. And in the end, the attack breaks down, so Watford can restart again with Kaibi. Kayembe's ball is a good one, looking towards Emmanuel Dennis. Turns nicely there, but was handed out. But they found Kamara. The ball played into the penalty area. And again, Sheffield United get it away. Clever picks up the loose ball just on the right-hand side now. Half an hour gone. 0-0 between Sheffield United and Watford at Vicarage Road. Final championship game of the first weekend. And at the moment, it looks like a point apiece, but there's a long way to go. There's a injury there to one of the Sheffield United players whose numbers got back to me. This is the challenge again. It was Dennis involved again. Miscontrols the ball here, Emmanuel Dennis. I'm not sure what that was all about. I'm trying to figure out how the Sheffield United player initially got injured. Anyway, well, we've got a break in play. I can finally tell you that we do have live Premier League football. It's Edna Stevens who's down, holding on his leg. He's maybe a bit of cramp or maybe a leg injury. I'm not quite sure. We'll find out in just a minute. But, well, we got that injury break. Let's just we'll just hang on a minute. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's in a clash there with Seamer. And that's how Stevens got his injury. Just to remind you, Premier League football returns on Friday. And I'll be at Selhurst Park doing the alternate commentary of the first Premier League game of the new season. It's Crystal Palace under Patrick Vieira taking on his old club Arsenal, who have looked in very imperious form in pre-season, especially Gabriel Jesus. And, of course, they've got Alexander Zinchenko in their side as well. So Mikel Arteta's been very clever in his recruiting so far, it has to be said. So you'll be able to see that with us at around about 10 to 8 on Friday nights on all the TC Hub YouTube platforms and TC Hub Twitch as well. Paul Higginbottom asks Paul Higginbottom asks Edna Stevens, "Are you okay?" Right, let's play on then. And of course, please we'll read a few of your comments out. We have got some comments, and mainly are from Mike, but we'll try and read a few of them out if we can. All out of place, so we can read a few of them out. Good evening, Russ and JB. I think our players are finding it difficult to they're passing on JB, hence the fact that we lost that day. Reading are going to struggle this season. We can see them dropping towards League One. Josh Smith was promoted to the EFL in 2005 and a referee in 2021. So a young referee, but I think he's having a fantastic game so far, I must say. Comes through the University of Sheffield, Bedfordshire in Luton. And if you don't like the commentator, then your handle is Media Journal. That's Media_Journal, incidentally. I won't... I've been often accused of getting Russ's Twitter handle wrong many times. Certainly last season when we were going there. I don't know what Mike says off and Stephen at Stevenage Gooner, if you want to follow Mike. And a couple of other commentators you might want to, a couple of our commentary team who you may well hear from later in the year. But we'll come back to that in a second because we've got a break on here for Sheffield United. And Watford deal with that one okay. No problem at all. Ball out of play. Yeah, at Trevor Sports 90 he's one of our commentators, mainly for FA Cup football. And of course, we've got Chris Whiteman, who's one of our co-commentators at Casual Chris 1994. And Nicholas Jones, if you want to check his Twitter handle out, his Twitter handle is at Nick Life is cool. Yes, Nick Life is cool. Some of these Twitter handles you read out sometimes are just unbelievably brilliantly funny and just baffles the mind or boggles the mind. Anyway, 0-0 if you're watching. You haven't missed anything significant while I was having a giggle about Twitter handles. And the ball knocked away once more. Still 0-0. And it's been a highly competitive first half in terms of good football, but we might get a chance on here for Sheffield United. Oh, this inside the area, good effort. Oh, straight at Daniel Backman. Good effort there from. I'm just trying to work out who it was. I think it was Ndiaye, who had the shot, and he hit it straight at the goalkeeper. Big opportunity wasted there for Sheffield United there, and that was their first shot on target. And at the moment, they are really having a little bit of a purple patch there. Yeah, it was Ndiaye with the shot, the Frenchman. And it's taken them a best part of 35 minutes to get the first shot on target, but still 0-0. A very good first half, that is for sure. Yeah, that's the one. I love Nick's one. I think we all love Nick's Twitter handle. I certainly do. I think it's a very catchy name. But if you want my Twitter handle, it's at JB Sports 11. We'll be happy to. I do say a few controversial things on there. Ball played up towards Ismail Sarr, but well taken there by West Frothingham. Craig Cathcart playing the ball forward. But I have to say the refereeing tonight has been okay. I've actually enjoyed the referee tonight. Josh Smith is one of the younger referees, and I don't think he's refereeing with any great fear. I think he's a very fearless referee, and he's giving, I have to say, he's giving the game every chance to breathe, and that can only be good for the game. And a free kick there given to Watford, fouled by Ollie Norwood. We are on a foul there on Yao Pedro, and again, Mr. Smith, absolutely spot on. Correct decision. Was it quite clearly a foul there? Norwood knew he'd done it. And Mr. Smith concurred with that fact. Pushed him over, free kick. Josh Smith is having a good game now. I have to say, he's doing well. Watford have a free kick in a very good position here. Ismail Sarr waits on the edge of the area. It's going to be Seamer to take it on the near side to where we're sitting. In the Graham Taylor opposite the Graham Taylor stand as the ball is played in there, named after Watford's most successful manager, of course. And all his achievements here, sadly, will be overshadowed by what happened with England. But Graham Taylor is a Watford legend, quite rightly a Watford legend. Died 4 or 5 years ago, sadly, and was a great loss to the football world. A man that was well ahead of his time when he joined Elton John at Watford in 1976, and since then they've been one of the great success stories of English football. Finishing second in 1983 behind Liverpool, would you believe, in what was then the old First Division, now the Premier League. Cup final in 84, and halcyon days really under Graham Taylor. It's been that sort of way, really. The Pozzos have been in charge now for the last dozen years. They've gone through something like 30 different managers in that time. Some of them have lasted a month, some of them have lasted 12 months, but no more than that. But the latest one, Rob Edwards, is in the firing line, and if he didn't get off to a good start, the Pozzos could sack him. As the ball played in there to the penalty area, taken by Fotheringham. Cabazeri was the man who tried to run down the blind alley. He did well to keep it in play, but he had no one to cross it back to in the penalty box. So, in a lot of respects, he collectively wins the battle of the Twitter handles. Well, he does for creativity and artistic impression. He doesn't our Nick, our voice of women's football, and my goodness, didn't he do a great job for us last night? A pleasure to work with, actually. He was Nicholas Jones, and I hope he's recovering after all that. I mean, he could be commentating on hearing and he sound good. That's how good he was. It's Tom Cleverley with a long ball forward, headed out of play. Will be a throw into Watford, midway inside the Sheffield United half. John Egan, the Sheffield United captain, nodding the ball out. I'm amazed that no Premier League club has even as suited out for John Egan, a very dependable defender, very capable. Will put his body on the line. And, it's amazing how these teams, since they've been relegated, have managed to keep hold of some of their better players. It's a testament to both their managers that they've kept faith with these players, or have sold any bigger clubs that he's not for sale at any price. Emmanuel Dennis has had loads of touches, not only in the opposition half, but in his own half as well. He's been everywhere in his first 39 minutes. But yet, so far, we've yet to gather a goal in this game. But at the moment, he has looked a very lively customer, Emmanuel Dennis. Very impressed. So at the moment, with 5 minutes plus any stoppage time to play, it's still levels your devils. It's still 0-0. And we've had a really interesting and good first half here. Very enjoyable. Cleverly winning the ball not once but twice, finding the ball towards Kaibi. On it goes now to Seema. Seema has to touch it back to Craig Cathcart. Cathcart looks up, doesn't see what else he's on. He has to go to Kaibi again. Now Cabazeri. Cabazeri looking to get the ball forward again, looking to get Emmanuel Dennis in behind if he can, but John Egan was very quick to read the possible danger and did really well. Throw comes in, short to Ismail Sarr. Sarr now gets it back from Cleverley. Sarr again, turns once more. Once again, Watford looking to ask the questions now in the closing stages of the first half. It's Seema now running at the defender. Seema's crossing the good one, and a header comes in, and it's well held by Fotheringham. I thought for a moment that had just crept into the back of the net, but it wasn't. It was a good save by Wes Fotheringham, diving away to his left-hand side, and it was... I'm just trying to work out who it was. It was Yao Pedro with the header. It was a good header, but Fotheringham flung himself away to his left-hand side and made an excellent save and put the ball out of the air whilst doing so. That on both fronts made the save that wee bit more better. It must be said. No handball was the use of the chest there by the Watford defender, which was Siriauta. And unfortunately, we've had a blockage of some person that I'm not even going to say who it was, but he's probably promoted somebody else, somebody else's YouTube channel or a betting firm or whatever. Can we not have those on, please? It's a Google. I mean, we as moderators and we at the TCO are sick and tired of this. Google need to be on top of their game with this. You know, you have been warned. Any potential spammer on YouTube, please, on any of our YouTube platforms, please don't even try it, because you will be barred and you'll never appear again. And it's a Google problem, not our problem. And it's been our problem because Google will not cut these ridiculous people out. And this is why online is such a dodgy place sometimes. Right, anyway, 2 minutes to half time. Watford have certainly shaded the first half for me if it ends goalless. Well, they've had the chances. Sheffield United have looked a little bit disjointed, but they've had a good chance through Ndai. But at the same time, Dennis has had a chance, and Yao Pedro's had a chance as well. But Seema there, this was the Yao Pedro chance. Seema's cross was it's a good bullet header, but again, the goalkeeper flung himself to his left and caught the ball magnificently, actually, it has to be said. And we're at 8:45 almost in the evening, and I hope you're enjoying our commentary. Still no goals to bring you, but hopefully we'll see some more. If we don't see any more in the first half, that was a free kick there. Josh Smith said no. Maybe the Watford player gone down a little bit easily, maybe. And ball back there. But I have to say, in the main, Josh Smith, the referee's had a good game. A good first game of the season so far, but you never know what might happen. But handled himself well. He's had that flashpoint to deal with amongst all the other things. So, yeah, he's done pretty well, really. Still Watford nil, Sheffield United nil. And we're now inside the last minute of normal time at the end of the first half. Watford throw taken quickly. Emmanuel Dennis again. He was always going to be the key man for Watford this season, Emmanuel Dennis, in terms of goal getting. And of course, he's Ismail Sarr, who has a decent championship scoring record himself. And Watford trying to play the 1-2, but they played the more enterprising football tonight so far, Watford. But again, the final, and Sheffield United have done their bit as well, but the final third has just lacked in a way of quality. Last 15 minutes of the first half. Now, George Baldock, he can run, and he'll run with energy. Now then, Ndai with a shot. Oh, tipped over well by Batman. Ndai from just to the left of the D struck the shot. It might even have been Jebison, I think, who hit the shot. Jebison, it may have been. Right-footed. Again, it was down to the running and the industry of George Baldock, but a terrific effort by Jebison, who caught this amazingly. And Backman, who was a big goalkeeper, big lad, but he had to turn that over. I think it might have been dipping. Backman couldn't be sure the Austrian keeper, and it's a corner. We're into 2 added minutes, from which we've had half a minute of the first of those 2 minutes. Sheffield United corner. Can they smash and grab one right at the end of the first half? Definitely against the run of the play, and they have been a bit of a battle there with Danny Backman. So we've got 1 minute and 10 of the 2 added to go. Here comes the corner. And it goes towards the penalty area. Up go the heads, and the ball is cleared, but there was, I think, infringement inside the area, presumably by a Sheffield United player. And presumably it was Ndai who was singled out as being penalised by referee Josh Smith from Peterborough, and it's a free kick to Watford. And I think Josh Smith was actually spot on. No complaints from any of the Sheffield United players, to be fair. So he had a fine game so far, Josh Smith, it's got to be said. Whatever he's tried to do with a good deal of common sense. And if he sees the odd over-the-top challenge, he'll stand for no nonsense. And it's been a decent first half, but without really impressing too much, certainly in the final third. Finishing will have to be better if one of these 2 sides really do truly want the 3 points come the end of the 90 minutes. But it's always going to be a battle first game of the season. Tom Cleverley is going to get booked. And I just saw there somebody there showing an imaginary yellow card. And I think that's pathetic gamesmanship. Let the referee the game as he sees fit. And it was in day. He was calling for an imaginary yellow card. Now, why do players always try to do the referee's job and get fellow professionals in the book? I've never understood those traits in a footballer's makeup. I've never understood it. Sheffield United free kick. It was a free kick. Header one, but it's over the top on the roof of the net. That should be that for the first half. It was John Egan's header at the far right-hand post. So Rob Edwards and Paul Higginbotham maybe have both got some work to do, really. Watford have been the better side. They've certainly created the more clearer cut of the opportunities without really impressing enough in the final third, both sides. So I think things can only get better in the first half, in the second half, but it's been a decent watch by all means. It's just both teams have lacked maybe a little bit of cutting edge in the final third. Maybe a bit after the Lord Mayor show, after yesterday, quite frankly, but we'll soon see how the second half will pan out. But here at Vicarage Road in the Championship, live on the TC Hub, it's Watford 0, Sheffield United 0 at half-time. I'm back to Russ Burden for half-time.
Thank you very much there to JB John Stuttard for his excellent commentary in that first half. Yet to see a goal then in the Championship clash between Watford and Sheffield United. While we're at half time, I'll just run you through the other scores which took place in the EFL Championship this weekend. On Friday night, first and foremost, go all the way back to Friday night. And he finished Huddersfield Town 0, Burnley 1. Ian Matson with the goal on 18 minutes. Mike Arneman and Luke Turton were your commentators for that game here on the commentary hub. On Saturday then we had a few matches which saw Blackburn Rovers 1, QPR 0, Blackpool 1, Reading 0, Cardiff City 1, Norwich City 0, Hull City 2, Bristol City 1, and the first goal for Hull City was not a penalty and the referee was conned. In my opinion anyway. Go and check it out for yourself. Luton Town 0, Birmingham City 0. Millwall 2, Stoke City 0. A game which I was at on Saturday afternoon, finished Rotherham United 1, Swansea City 1, Wigan Athletic 0, Preston North End 0, and Middlesbrough 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. On Sunday in the Championship, just to tell you about, which I mentioned earlier on in the programme, if you're just tuning in, Sunderland 1, Coventry City 1 was a result from earlier in the weekend. So this is the final game of the weekend in the Championship. But while we're at half time in the Championship, let's turn our attentions away from the Championship moment, shall we? And bring you some news which came in 4 hours ago while we were off air. And it's the news from the Football Association, and is what we've been told as well. Football Association is keen to extend the contract of Euro 2022 winning manager Serena Wiegman, which on a deal which will run through till the current deal runs until 2025, and they're keen to extend that, and we're set to open talks with Serena Wiegman over a new contract. The Baroness Sue Campbell, the FA's head of women's football, said she will have a couple of weeks off. When she gets back, we'll have a conversation. She needs a holiday. She's done an incredible job. You have to remember she only came in September, and in that time since September, 20 matches and only 2 draws, so 18 wins. Not bad going, really, for Serena Wiegman in this Lioness's role. Everybody said to me, do you think she can win the Euros? And I said, it's a very short time span. That, my goodness, she's modelled the team together, not just the players, the team around her. There's a togetherness, you have to be in it to feel it. When we interviewed her, we knew we were getting the best tactical and technical coach in the world. What we didn't know was that we were getting this exceptional human being. The FA's chief executive, Maud Bullingham, Serena Wiegman, Serena Wiegman was their number one target last year, and he hopes she's with England for a long time. He said He said we were delighted to secure her, even though in our wildest dreams we thought that this tournament might be too early. We weren't sure we'd win this one. We were hoping we'd win the one in the future, so she achieved brilliant results earlier than we could ever have hoped. She only signed in September, but we would love her to be with us for a long time. I think she's a real special person and a really special talent, and that is what the people from the FA said around England boss Serena Wiegman. Going on that game as well, just to give more some good news regarding England. England midfielder and forward type player, and Arsenal's Beth Mead was named the Women's Euros 2022 best player after winning and she also won the Golden Boot, giving her the top scorer, tournament's top scorer. She edged past Germany's Alexandra Popp, who missed out yesterday due to an injury. Despite both players finishing on 6 goals, Beth Mead won the award because she had got more assists than Popp, with the England player laying on 5 goals for her teammates. And as I mentioned, Popp was ruled out of that match due to an injury in the warm-up as well. So some more great news there for the English game and for the Lionesses. Everyone around the world would have probably never thought this would be happening this early on, especially after what Phil Neville did when he was in charge of the Lionesses. But the way Serena Wiegman has turned it around, it has been nothing but exceptional. Even Her Majesty the Queen was one of the led tribute to the England side. In a statement, she called the England Euro 2022 winners an inspiration. She said, "My warmest congratulations and those of my family go to you all on winning the European Women's Championships. It is a significant achievement for the entire team, including your support staff. The championships and your performance in them have rightly won praise. However, your success goes far beyond the trophy you have so deservedly earned. You have also set an example that will be an inspirational for girls and women today and for future generations. It is my hope that you'll be as proud of the impact you have had on sport as you are as a result today." So more people praised the Lionesses, including Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who praised Serena Wiegman's side on social media, writing, "Footballers come home. A stunning victory by the Lionesses. Huge congratulations to Serena, Leah, Serena Wiegman, the manager, Leah Williamson, the captain, and the whole team. Football pitches across the country will be filled as never before by girls and women inspired your triumph." There was also some former players from the 1960, one of the former players who last won England's major trophy back in 1966. So Jeff Hurst put out on his social media, "European champions, unbelievably proud, hashtag Lionesses." The England captain and Tottenham striker Harry Kane tweeted, "Absolute unreal scenes at Wembley. Massive congratulations to the Lionesses. Ella Toone, take a bow for that finish too. And what a finish it was." Also, Manchester United and England defender Harry Maguire also going on the act. He said, "Brilliant game, history made. Your country is proud of you. Enjoy the celebrations." Alex Scott, who played for England herself, but never won the tournament, had some words to say. I won't read all what they've got. Six kickoff will be kicking back off very, very shortly. Just a few words from Alex Scott just before the second half gets underway. She said, so many people have been involved to get women's football to this point, see this trophy. This is what we've all been dreaming of. The amount of investment in the game to get us to this point. And absolutely spot on. And I got an email earlier because I was at some of the matches from the UEFA's ticketing team with the overall attendance for not just yesterday but for the tournament as a whole in the the women's Euros, and is for matches across England. And before I tell you the attendance, I will tell you it's the most attended women's Euros in history. So I just want to say well done to everyone who went, including myself, to the matches. And in attendance for the entire matches, before I give the attendance out, JB, if you've not seen it, my friend, what is your guess for the overall attendance for all of the matches in the Euros? If you're there, JB,
Sorry, I am here. Sorry.
what is your guess
Yeah, I'm
for the
here.
overall? What is your guess for the overall attendances for the women's Euros matches across England? If you've not seen it already,
I'd probably say about. Oh, I'd probably say about around about 190,000. That is an extraordinary, wild guess in the dark, I guess.
well, JB, I can tell you that you are wrong.
I thought I
The,
was.
the overall attendance for the women's Euros 2022 matches across England, 574,875. It is the most attended women's Euros in history.
Well, I knew that it was the most attended one because I only based it on being 200,000 because of the some of the stadiums that were used. I think there has been a lot of controversy over it being played at Manchester City's smaller women's smaller pitch, and then there's the fact that we had a rugby league ground. But there was, the criticism lies in the fact that no Midlands club or no North East club have hosted any of the games, which is a real shame, really, for them because they might have wanted to come and see some quality women's football. Said all that though, it's been an amazing tournament, and I think the standard of football has been good. As I said last night, it was just unbelievable. But tonight, it feels like it's a little bit after the Lord Mayor's show, and it's no disrespect to Watford and Sheffield United. It just hasn't had any intensity to it, but we can only hope for a good second half.
Yes, and I was listening to Alex Scott on the television coverage of the women's Euros after the game day, being probably some of the reasons why there were no matches in the North East or some of the bigger teams, so to speak, so likes of Sunderland, Middlesbrough, Newcastle, teams like that, or even teams in the Premier League, so likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, teams like that, was that some of the teams, when they were first put to them about hosting a match for the Women's Euros, some of the teams turned around and said no, they didn't want to host a tournament. And but fair play to those who did host a match in the tournament. And
I just want to say, I'd still question the fact that Milton Keynes, with no real football in history, hosted those games. I'm sorry, but I just feel that I might keep banging on about this drum, but Milton Keynes has no real football history. They ripped off Wimbledon, the old Wimbledon, and that's the reason why I don't really take too much of the MK Dons phenomenon, because to me they're not a proper football club. They're a franchise, and they shouldn't have even had anything to do with the tournament. Personal opinion.
yes, and one final thing as we get ready to go back for the second half between Watford and Sheffield United. Just want to say a big congratulations to Rotherham United and the groundsman there dear fellows, a friend of mine, after the ACL New York Stadium was voted the pitch of the tournament, the best ground to host a match. And if you've ever seen that pitch, no matter what's being played on it, the pitch, or no matter what weather, the pitch is always in immaculate condition. As always,
Oh, we saw it.
immaculate.
We saw it. I saw it on the Championship highlights the other night on ITV4, and I've got to say, it did look a very good pitch. Not as good a standard as. You just have to bear with me for a couple of minutes. I won't be a minute.
No problem, JB. We'll be back with JB in a second. The teams are just making their way out of the field, onto the field. It looks as though there may be a substitution for Watford, is there, or not? I'm not 100% sure. It looks like there might be a substitution for one of the teams. I'm not 100% sure on that. We'll bring you that in a second. The teams are back out for the second half, just going through some last minute warm-ups there, Watford. We'll get back to JB when he's back with us. Do let us know when you're back with us, JB. We'll get back to him in a second. We'll wait to get back to JB. The second half is about to get underway, so I'll give you a bit of the coverage as we get back underway any second now. You are listening to the commentary of Watford against Sheffield United. We'll get JB back in a second or two. The game is about to get
Yes, I'm
underway.
back now. I'm back.
I
back.
think he's back with us right now. And just as Watford gets underway for the second half, it's time for me to hand back over to you. Match commentator, it's over to you, John JB Stuttard.
Thanks, Ross. Welcome back, everybody. Well, you've joined us. We're 15 seconds in. No foul there. Both teams, let me just evaluate the two teams. Backman in goal for Watford, Cabazeri, Cathcart and Sirieta, the back three. Kamara, Clebury, Kayabi and Seema for the midfield. João Pedro, the number 10. Wearing 10, Dennis and Sarr up front. For Sheffield United, West Bodmingham in goal. And then it's Clark, Egan and Norrington Davis across the back. And then it's Baldock, Norwood, Fleck and Stevens with Berg playing in the number 10 role, wearing 8, Jebison and Idai up front. So both teams unchanged. I didn't have a chance to go through the substitutes. We'll get a chance to reacquaint you with the substitutes later. Josh Smith, the referee from Peterborough. His two assistants are Matt Jones and Akio Alson, and Gary Ward, the fourth official. Here's Emmanuel Dennis inside the area. Hammered out again, and it's hooked out for a throw into Watford midway inside the Sheffield United half. So let me just run through the substitutes. For Watford, Hamer, Ngakia, Toast, Ngong, Manaj, Gosling, Asprilia and Bayo. We'll talk you through the substitutes for Sheffield United in a second. There's Watford go on a break, but it's out of play. It will be a Watford throw-in. And it's number 14 there with the throw. Kamara playing the ball into the area. Cleverly battles with it. Kamara will reach it again. Ball bounces a little bit in the air, but it's out of play once more. Another Watford throw. The third in as many seconds. Here's Kamara again. Hassan Kamara, to give him his full name. He wears Hassan K on the back of his shirt as the ball is spreaded in there by Cleverly. Former England international, and belted away, and Cathcart can get it back to his keeper. So Lowe, Brewster, Sharp, Kadira, Osborne, Gordon and Azamaya are the Sheffield United substitutes, just to remind you of those. So I think we're all reacquainted with everybody and all the body counts are there. So we're all up and running in this second half. Let's hope we can have some goals in this second half, for which has now been playing for about 2 minutes. And we've certainly had our money's worth. Hopefully we'll get our money's worth in this second half. But absolutely certain here. As day turns to dusk, and it's got a little bit cooler as well, which might help the tempo of the game somewhat now. And Watford and Sheffield United, it wasn't a bad first half by any means. It just lacked both teams just lacked a little bit of cutting edge in front of goal. Nervousness of the first game. That's a foul there by the number 10, which is João Pedro. I have to say, Josh Smith, the referee from Peterborough, has had a good first half. Did have a good first half. It was a foul there on Head and Stevens. And a yellow card being brandished there. And I think he's not standing for any nonsense, Mr. Smith. I've got to be perfectly honest. Let's see what he actually did wrong. And, well, in fact, Stevens bundled him, and then in retaliation took out Stevens. So, yeah, very lucky boy there to be on a booking, because on another day, a more stricter referee may have been very tempted to brandish the red one. But Mr. Smith saw it fit to just book him at that point. So maybe that was the right decision. Free kick to Watford, to Sheffield United rather. Taken by Norrington Davis. Knocked in towards the area, but knocked away again. Norrington Davis with a bit of work to do, but Pedro's got the better of him. And then another potential foul there, given this time against John Egan by referee Mr. Smith. And now both sides are now surrounding the referee now. I feel sorry for Josh Smith here in this mistake, being constantly surrounded by players when he gives a decision. And it doesn't matter whether he gives a good or a bad decision. He's always been surrounded by players, and I wish players would not do that. We saw that bit of petulance from Ndai when he got one of the Watford players booked earlier on in the game. At the end of the first half, I think it might have been Tom Clever who got the booking. Just showing an imaginary yellow card. Why can't we just eliminate all that ridiculous gamesmanship from the game? Let the referee at the base, then ask questions later. Here's Clever with a free kick into the penalty area and knocked away once more. And try to give the referees a bit more of a benefit of the doubt. Fleck now battling the ball. He's been beaten on the far side, but he's been beaten illegally by Seamer, who's furious now. And I could understand the player's frustration, but the referee's got no choice in this instance. He's clearly pulled back Fleck. What else is the referee supposed to do? Just let the game carry on? That's a foul. Seamer knows what he's done wrong, and he's trying to protest his innocence quite wrongly. Just accept the decision and play on. Simple. Seems a bit wound up by that one, but the referee was right. Free kick. Taken by West Birmingham. The ball out of play. Watford attacking the end where the Sheffield United fans are, and Sheffield United going to our right. Or Sheffield United are going to our left. Watford to our right. Sorry, we'll get that confusion mixed up for you now. Here's Seamer now. It was frustrated not to have a free kick given against him. Here he comes again. Still 0-0. Seamer again. Running as his man. Can he tee up a cross? Cross deflects. It will be a corner kick to Watford. Just needs to settle down this game. It's just getting a bit bitty. There's a few flash points, and we had one in the first half, which we saw 2 bookings. And there was one of them who was involved, Siriata, and he's forward for the back, along with Craig Cathcart. We've had 6.5 minutes of the second half almost, and can we get a goal here for one of these two teams? Right on the goalkeeper there, Sanderberg there, trying to hold off Ishmael Sarr. It's going to be difficult there with him right on the line. Corner came in from the far side from Seamer, but it's stuck away. Seamer might get the second opportunity or the second bite of the cherry. Clever trying to help him out on that left-hand side, and it's Watford throw. A level with the 18-yard box. Clever taking it quickly to Yao Pedro, and ball's been lost by Pedro, and now. But then Sarr wins the ball back and won it back very well. Cabazeli now. Still 0-0. 52 minutes gone here on all TCL platforms, YouTube and Twitch. The YouTube channels are as follows: TCL, TCL2, JB Sports and Storm FM. And of course we're on the Twitch, TCL Twitch channel. And these are all what the commentary speeds are being transmitted on all this season. Nice to have you all with us tonight. Again, make sure your comments are clean, and I'll pick out a few to read during breaks in play during the second half as well, for which we stand at 0-0 with 7-8 minutes almost played in the second half. Edgar Stevens getting it forward for Sheffield United. Can't find John Fleck. It will be a throw though to Sheffield United, and it's been a game really that hasn't had the chance to ebb and flow. There has been a bit of bitterness about it. There has been some good football played by Watford, and Sheffield United have tried to do their bit as well, but it's been rather it's been rather tedious at times, and it has been flashpoints, engagementship, and all that sort of thing. I don't even know what that is, to be quite honest with you, but he's promoted something else. So if we could take this football Argentino off, I'm sorry, but you are promoting yourself on our channels. We do not want any of these stupid things like that, and we will not have you appearing again. It really winds me up when we get things like that, and I might have to do a YouTube video, which illustrates the point, because it just really winds people up when that happens. We're trying to put out quality content. You proper subscribers to enjoy to any of our platforms, to any of our YouTube platforms as well. Sheffield United just having 1 or 2 injuries. Just to point you in the direction of next live football coming up, as Ender Stevens has his recurrence of his leg injury that he picked up in the first half. In fact, we'll refrain from that, because Cobble is giving away a needless corner here. And Sheffield United are temporarily down to 10 players while Ender Stevens gets his treatment. But I think he might not be lasting too long, because we're going to see a substitution. Indeed, we are. Number 13 is about to come on, which is Max Lowe. So Max Lowe is about to come on, number 13. Funny number for an outfield player. Normally taken up by a reserve goalkeeper. So Stevens' night is done. His race is run. And Max Lowe is now on in his place. Possibly like for like. Anyway, corner kick now. Ollie Norwood to take from the near side. Has to go to the edge of the area. Referee got him flex way a touch. And now this could be probably where Sheffield United is short-handed. Watford have got a break here. It's 3-on-3 for a second. Here's Ismail Sarr into the area. Plays it in there. Showing a goal for Emmanuel Dennis. Yes, it is. Oh, what a great move. It was João Pedro, in fact, finished it off. Not Emmanuel Dennis, but it's Watford in front. Oh, it was a lightning fast attack. And Watford may... Well, I've got the referee to thank there, because Sheffield United had a corner. It didn't quite work out because he got in flex way. It came to nothing, and then Watford 3 against 3 at the back. It came to Sarr inside the area, ball played across, and João Pedro finished it off. And there's a very... Well, let's see if the referee first of all got in the way here. Well, hard to say really, but then Watford really worked this well. It was behind everybody, and then I think Dennis played the ball on, and Sarr looked actually offside on the first phase. Pedro certainly wasn't on the second phase. Sheffield, well, that would have been an interesting one if VAR had got involved, but with no VAR, thank goodness, so we can have these talking points until the cows come home, can't we? Good finish though. 1-0 to Watford. 56 minutes gone, and maybe Rob Edwards is time maybe coming his way. He did wonders at Forest Green Rovers, winning the League 2 title last year. He's come to Watford there. There was a wrestling match while all that was going on as well. But Sarr looks offside to me. I'd like to see the line there, but the TV won't allow me to see the lines. But he's certainly offside in that first phase, wasn't he? But Pedro certainly wasn't. Has 2 goals in his last 3 games when going back to last season in the Premier League. And Watford are in front. And I apologise for calling the goal scorer wrong. I did thought it was Emmanuel Dennis, but it wasn't. It was João Pedro. 1-0 then to Watford. Early season ring rustiness. I'll get better as the season goes on. You mark my words. It's always difficult when you're trying to commentate as the ball knocked in there once more. And the volley comes in from Kamara, which right-footed, that goes into the stand. But Watford now with their tails very much up at the moment. João Pedro there almost teeing up a goal that time. Over Fotheringham's part. Goal kick then. And now Paul Higginbottom with... and I think he got a yellow card for speaking out of turn. I think he's trying to say that A, the referee got in the way of our corner, and B, Sarr may have been offside. So that's my that's my wild guess, I think. I think I'm more closer with those wild guesses than I was at half time with the Women's Euros total crowd. 500,000 for them. What a great tournament that has been for women's football and the worldwide women's game as well. But we're into men's football now, and it's 1-0 to Watford in the Championship. And it's a goal scored by Pedro on 56 minutes. Paul Higginbottom has been booked. They're taking too much out of turn, although in a lot of respects he may just have a point. We'll see. And that is a body blow to Sheffield United in a lot of respects. And it's a double whammy because they've lost Edna Stevens not long before that. But wait a minute. Here's a chance now for an equaliser potential for Sheffield United. That's a poor ball in there from Max Lowe, and he knows he needs to do better than that. He's only been on the field about a matter of minutes, but even so, when he's in that position and he's not really being tracked by anybody, one would have said, get your head up, cross it in. Unfortunately, he didn't do that, and it's gone behind. Sanderberg fuming about that, but there will be certainly repercussions. I'd like to be interested to see what Paul Higginbottom says afterwards. But it wasn't I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out why would the ref. I think the referee was trying his best to get out of the way, but I don't think that will please the manager. So what? And then there's the question of offside or non-offside. Akil Howson, the official on that near side, may have to take a raw brunt of that brunt of the issue of Paul Higginbottom, because he kept his flag down. Here's John Fleck, who can hit them. Flex shot deflects. It will be a Sheffield United corner. That'll perk up the Yorkshire side now. Came off Cavazelli for a Sheffield United corner. 1-0 here on the TC up to Watford. We've had an hour. Half an hour to play. And it's been a decent watch. We've got to go. And I've got up my record. Still no goals. Still waiting for my first 0-0 of the season. And I've had 3 games now on the TC Hub, both commentator and presenter. And here comes the corner, headed out. And never had too many 0-0 draws. I think I had a couple last season. And the ball played in there once more, but that's out of play. And that'll be a goal kick to Watford, who lead by a goal to 0. Yao Pedro scored. I do apologise to any listener who may have been offended that I called the wrong name, but it's early season. It's my first live commentary in goodness knows how long. But was the referee interfering with John Fleck's line of fire as he went in there? And then there's the offside here. Watch this. Was Star offside? From my angle, that looks offside, but obviously Pedro isn't offside on the second phase. I think it's the first phase that Sheffield United will, quite rightly, have an issue with. And they'll have a lot of grievance to linesman Akil Howson, who's the linesman on that near side. And there will be a lot of expletives directed towards his, hopefully respectful expletives towards his direction. 1-0 though to Watford. But certainly Sheffield United look daggered at the near side linesman, there's no doubt about that. Matt Jones is the other assistant on the far side. Match stats, it's 2 shots apiece on target, 1 for Watford. And touches in opposition box, 7 for Watford, none for Sheffield United. Shows you how on top of Watford have been, despite the injustices Sheffield United may have about the Watford goal. They'll feel it should be still 0-0, but Watford will think different. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But it's 1-0 to Watford. Watford 1, Sheffield United 0 at the moment. And it's been one of those games where it just needed one moment of genius or one bit of controversy to set it alight, and we've certainly had that. So 1-0 to Watford. Here's Clever battling on the right-hand side, and now feeds Kamara. Kamara was surely fouled there. And the referee when they want a free kick, with a goal kick's been given there, and Keo Howson saying, "Go outside, get up, goal kick." You've had one lucky decision off me. You're not going to get another one. I'm not sure that was a foul or not, but I think it was just 6 of one, half a dozen of the other between him and Norrington Davis. If I'm being totally frank. Still 1-0. As we now come up towards the business end of this game, inside the 64th minute, and still we're not nowhere near knowing who's going to win this one. Watford 1, Sheffield United 0. Been a good watch so far. Been interesting to see how it's all progressed, really, in terms of actual score lines and everything else. The ball is high in the air and kept in there by Watford. And then the ball back to Kamara. Infield it goes. Now number 39, Kaibi has got it. Kaibi has got it over on the far side. Now here's a chance for Seaman, but now Yao Pedro, who's got the taste for it now. Here's Dennis inside the area. It's Emmanuel Dennis. Oh, he's trying to do too much and then got in Yao Pedro's way as well, unfortunately. That would have been a lovely goal if Dennis had executed that properly. Sheffield United have a let off there. Well, it's Yao Pedro that started off. Then Dennis beats one, beats another, and then Yao Pedro just gets in his way, unfortunately. I tell you what, if he had scored there, Emmanuel Dennis, it would have been one of the goals of the season. But well, Sheffield United are about to make another change, and it's Ryan Brewster is about to come on. In fact, they're going to make 2 changes, I think. Not sure who the other one is, but we'll find out. We've also got Billy Sharp amongst the substitution. We know how good he is in the Championship. Anyway, here's Emmanuel Dennis round the corner. Dennis away from his man. Gets the cross in, kept it in. Moore will stay out of play. Will go out of play for a Watford corner. So we're halfway almost through the second half. 65 and a half minutes gone on the TCL 2, JB Sports and Storm FM. They're the YouTube channels, and we're also on Twitch. We're also sponsored again by the streaming partner is the Mowen Streaming app, www.mowenstreamingapp.com. Harry Dionic cheers on Seamer as he comes to take a corner on the near side. Watford 1 up. Seamer's caught. It's a poor one by his high standards, and he's knocked away once more. 66 minutes gone then. Don't forget, I've got to choose a player of the match in a little while. Sponsored, of course, by Barry Swain's commentary services. There's Harry Dionic. He's got a drum near him as well. Anyway, ball back to Backman, who's been very much a spectator in this second half. But it's Watford winning by 1-0. Yao Pedro with the goal. But it's Watford now looking to break and get this second one, which will really put them into Herod at the moment. But Fleck has won possession here. But at the moment, it's been a tough examination as the ball is laid on. I think Ryan Brewster has come on. Oh, no, he's not come on. And so Ndaya stayed on. Here's a chance for him now. He pushed out a little bit, but goal kick him. And just starting to get a little frustrated for Sheffield United here. It's a nice little kit they've got out there. As we look at the 2 substitutes there, one is, in fact, there's a couple of changes. They were going to bring on, in fact, it's a triple change. So Ben Osborne's going to be on, one coming on. But certainly Bruce is going to be the other. And we feel Big Kadira is going to be the third. So it's, let's have a look. Jemison is going to come off. And Ryan Brewster, the ex-Liverpool man, is on. That's the first substitution. The second substitution, I can't tell who's got on, but got off. But Kadira is definitely on. We'll get all these confirmed by TV anyway. But only one will certainly be replaced by Ben Osborne. So that's the third one. We just need to make sure who's in place. So it's Clark who's got off to be replaced by Kadira. And they've taken off a defender essentially to get Kadira on. Kieran Clark, who's already been booked, incidentally. But Paul Higginbottom needs a change of fortune, and he's brought on 3 substitutes in order to do that. Of course, he's made 4. All teams these days, under the new EFL rules, can actually make up to 5 substitutions now at any one time. Right, the 90 minutes under the new ruling. Of course, that's also going to be established in the Premier League when that kicks off on Friday night. And we'll have that first game for you as well. We'll have Crystal Palace against Arsenal at Selhurst Park, and that'll be with me. And we'll be on the same time, about 10 to 8, on all the TCM platforms and TCM Twitch as well, as Kadira makes a good early dash and then gets the ball out there towards the far side. Low infield once again. Kadira takes possession. Kadira looking to take on his man, but it's back with John Fleck. Fleck found the corner. And the ball breaks for Watford this time. From memory, I've not used the substitute yet. At the moment, Rob Edwards, who hasn't used the sub, is on course for victory. There's still 20 minutes to go. And anything can still happen in that time, plus any injury times. I'm still glancing out towards the 2 benches. Obviously, the Sheffield United have used 4 of their 5. And I don't think Watford have made 1 change yet. Not from memory, anyway. So Watford 1, Sheffield United 0 is the score. The header is 1. And the ball is back in play again. And it's Sheffield United on the ball. Can they find something now in the remaining 20 minutes or so that remains here at Vicarage Road? Watford 1, Sheffield United 0. 20 minutes are to be played. Osborne to Kadira. Back to Osborne again. Looking to pick out Kadira once more. Ball being played down the left-hand channel. Still 1-0 to Watford. We are Sheffield United are perilously running out of time here. Ball back across again to John Fleck. Ball knocked over the top once more. Still 1-0 to Sheffield United. It's been really tough so far. Now the ball played towards Emmanuel Dennis. He's up against 3 Sheffield United defenders. And he's going to have to work a miracle to keep hold of the ball here. And hold it up and hold it up and hold it up. And he has done terrifically well. Here's Tom Clevery. He's been remarkably brilliant all game long. It's all about game management for Watford. Can they get that second one now, make it absolute? Yao Pedro to Seema, and then the shot comes in. Oh, that would have been a wonderful goal on the turn from Emmanuel Dennis with the right foot. It was a terrific effort from him. A wonderful turn here, and this would have been some goal. But it wasn't. It was wide of the target, but it's a terrific effort. And wide of the target it went. In actual fact, it was Ismail Sarr, but the spot for a moment it was, again, it's just, they're all the similar sort of player, Watford players, as the television cameraman whistles the ball away from his camera. And we're back underway again with Lowe round the corner. And that's a good challenge on Osborne, no foul. And here come Watford again, looking to break. The referee stopped it. No, what's he stopped it for, I wonder? I've no idea what he stopped it for, but I just wonder if he's been alerted to something here. We'll just have to wait and see, but the signs are that Watford... the signs are here that there could be something happening there, that's for sure. So Watford leading by a goal to 0. I wonder if the ball's popped. I've just wondered if the ball has popped. It's not something you see every day in everyday football, really, the ball popping like that. But there you go. That's just the way it is sometimes. I think they're looking for a new ball, a fresh ball, as Watford now look to try and bounce on this 1-goal lead. And apologies there for a second or two. We've got a break in play. And now the ball back in play once more. We should have a new ball in play as we look there at Rob Edwards. Well, at the moment, his team are on the way to a winning start to life back in the Championship, to a season in the Premier League. Still looking for a spare ball. Or is it a drop ball? Anyway, we're not sure what all that was all about, but I think we found a new ball, have we? I'm not quite sure. Someone needs to enlighten me about this. But I'm sure it was a new ball. But anyway, well, that was a mysterious stoppage there. It must have been for a replacement ball. It had to be. But anyway, well, the ball is with Backman from, and we're back underway again. So strange to say the least. But there we go. That's just the modern day football for you. And it's just the way sometimes it goes in the grand scheme of things. Watford are winning by 1-0. And that's the one statistic that you really do need to know here on the TC Hub. If you've joined us late, João Pedro scored the goal about 10 minutes into the second half, which gives Watford that 1-0 cushion. And Paul Eckenbonny was but for his protestations. There was a talking point, was Ismail Sarr offside in the build-up to that goal? It looked offside to me, but the linesman Akil Hobson kept the flag down, and the goal was given. So it would have been interesting if we had VAR in the Championship, but let's talk about it being implemented in the Football League next season. Not this season, obviously, but there is massive talk about it. But I think to have VAR in the Football Leagues, logistically, you've got to get about 20 cameras into every stadium, and we haven't got the technology really. We've got the technology a lot in this country, but you don't have many outside broadcast trucks who can actually do a live feed of around about 90, 80, 60 games around the country. It's just not possible with communications these days, and when there's been a small nation, it's very difficult. And I think that's one of the reasons why VAR will never be introduced in Leagues 1 and 2, that's for sure. Definitely, possibly Championship level, but not Leagues 1 or 2. Good body up by the referee, incidentally, and now Watford with Seaman now have a chance here on the left-hand side. Infield to Cleverley. Might even hit it, the former England man. No, he uses Ismail Sarr. Sarr runs at his man. Sarr into the penalty area. Gets across the face of the goal. The ball will be kept in by Zima. We've had a message, and I'm sure it'll be Russ enlightening me what the stoppage was all about. And Ben Osborne doing well. And conceding a... No, I'm not conceding a throw. It is a throw now, so we'll just have a little bit of a check there, and it was a fan, in fact, trying to into the field where the dugouts are. So yes, that's what happened. I actually thought I thought the ball had popped. I didn't, because we're watching off a feed of the game. We don't actually see what actually happens. So I just want to remind people. So the reason for the stoppage wasn't because a ball popped or anything. It was because basically a fan had run onto the pitch by the dugout area. I don't know what possessed him to do that. He's a bit of a lunatic. But having said all that, you endanger the lives of you endanger people there. You put people's safety at risk by running on the field, and it's not a nice, pleasant thing to have to deal with. Anyway, Sheffield United get a throw in. Are we going to see some late drama here at Vicarage Road? Fifth and final change. It's the marksman, the talisman, the man who breathes Sheffield United red and white through and through. Billy Sharp, who's been around this game very much a long time now, 18 years a professional, now in his mid-30s, still has a lot to offer as Elman Ndiaye is replaced by Billy Sharp, a legend in South Yorkshire, as Russ will only know too well from his time at Doncaster Rovers when he really broke into the first team there back in 2005. So certainly now it's all to play for. Apologies there in the background as Sheffield United have possession. Round the corner it goes. Needs to be a good cross. It's turned away for a corner. Sheffield United now asking all the questions here as we now go into the final 12 minutes plus injury time. It's been a really good, decent watch, but at the moment it's still anyone's there to be won or lost. And who knows what might happen. It's going to be a corner. And it's going to be from the far side. And it goes towards the area. Bit of pushing and shoving going on. The header was won now by... Oh, now then, was that a penalty? Sheffield United, well, certainly there was a player bundled up. I'm not sure if there was any great appeals from Sheffield United players. Well, first instance, I thought Sanderberg had gone down there. And I just wondered if he made a bit more of a meal than it actually was. Meanwhile, Watford are about to make a substitution. And I'll tell you who it is in a second or two. But, well, there we go. So there was also a medical emergency as well in the crowd. We're also told as well. So we hope whoever has been tended to, we hope he's all right or she's all right. We had a lot of medical emergencies last season, and that's been a sad part of the game, really. But we have all the defibrillators now in the ground. It's now a legal requirement to have defibrillators in every part of the ground, and it's always good that people's lives have been saved. I commentated on the game at Newcastle last year when a fan had a cardiac arrest. Thankfully, he lived to tell the tale as number 23 Ismail Sarr goes off, and number 9 Minaj is going to come on for Watford with 10 minutes to go. Ismail Sarr getting a good reception from this capacity crowd here at Vicarage Road. Watford, one of the promotion favourites, along with the likes of Norwich and Burnley, to go back up at the first attempt. Ray Minaj is the man that's about to come on, but Ismail Sarr has had a good one, has had a good game. So let's just see how he goes on. This is Watford debut, and here comes Sheffield United now. We've got Billy Sharp on the field, and you know what he's going to be like when Billy Sharp's on the field. He's a very dangerous customer. As I say, Bruce Burnham will know more about him than anybody. He played football in his land of South Yorkshire for the likes of Sheffield United, and before that Doncaster Rovers for many, many years. That's a foul surely on there on Kadira by Kaibi, and a free kick to Sheffield United. The medical is an update from Ross, the producer, on the medical emergency. There was a medical emergency that happened in the Sheffield United end, and again, like me, Ross wishes everyone to be that the supporter is all right. And I think we echo all that on the TCM, so we all hope he's going to be okay. So just to confirm, the medical emergency was in the Sheffield United end. There's a free kick for Sheffield United coming in, header one, and it's just wide. From the far side of the 6-yard area, it was John Egan's header. And they won't get many more chances from that from now till the end, I'm sure. But that's a free header. And wide of Danny Batman's goal. Egan got up there, was virtually unmarked as he headed it. But just didn't have enough curl to curl it in amongst the far post. And doubled the count for Sheffield United in terms of scoreline. Of course, Wigan have got a tough job against Norwich on Saturday. They go to Norwich and then West Brom Watford. That will be a tasty game a week today, won't it? Now, Watford have a difficult fixture list, having to play two of the other promotion contenders. Wigan got a good point against Preston North End, but they'll have a work cut out showing against Dean Smith Norwich on Saturday. Burnley are at home to Luton. That'll be another tasty game as well. So plenty of decent games to start the Championship off. for absolutely sure. Anyway, here comes Sheffield United again with Norrington Davis. Norrington Davis gets the possession again. Good running by Norrington Davis. Has he taken it too far? No, he hasn't. He's got the cross in. He's found only Daniel Backlund, who takes the ball nicely and calmly. And running there from Norrington Davis. First touch was a little bit heavy, made the crossing a little bit more difficult rather than different. And in the end, it's easy take for Danny Backlund. Next live football on the TC Hub and JB Sports and Storm FM and TC Hub 2, and the commentary hub itself and Twitch is Premier League action on a Friday night. I'll be in the commentary box as we bring you alternate commentary of Crystal Palace against Arsenal and London Derby to start us off, just like last season. And again, involving Arsenal as the away team as they take on Patrick Vieira, their old Arsenal colleague. So that'll be 7:50 in the evening on all the TCR platforms and stations. Meanwhile, 1-0 to Watford in the Championship. So Rob Edwards, the ex-Forest Green and England under-16 manager. Looks like getting this first win as Watford's boss. That'll please the Posso family. I'm not sure if they're there in the crowd tonight, but I'm sure they'll be watching somehow, somewhere, because the EFL is very much a very well transmitted league around the world. The biggest second-tier league in the world. As Watford comes search of another goal here. Shot comes in. Oh, that's a good effort from Menage with his left foot. It was a good save from Forrester, having to throw himself to his left-hand side as he looked at it. Menage got it onto his left foot. Maybe it was too straightforward for the goalkeeper. Held on to it well. Had to fling himself, as I say, to his left-hand side. 5 minutes to go then in the Championship. Watford 1, Sheffield United 0. Looks like Watford are going to start life back in the Championship with a win. But you never discount Sheffield United at their peril. Remember, a year ago, they lost 1-0 at home to Birmingham in their first game back in the Championship after relegation from the Premier League. So, well, they may well start, but they came back, recovered, got to the playoffs and missed out in the end to Nottingham Forest. They're losing on that dramatic semi-final, you may remember, on a penalty shootout. And the ball kicked long. We start their campaign this away from home this weekend. And Steve Cooper's men have made significant inroads in the transfer market. Meanwhile, there's a Watford substitution going on. And now substitutions are starting to happen thick and fast. And João Pedro, whose goal might well settle it, came in the 56th minute. There will be question marks as to whether Ismail Sarr was in an offside position in the build-up, but not them two will care. Celebrated with Harry the Hornet there, the mascot. In fact, João Pedro had the second most touches in the game. Ridiculous statistic, really. I don't know where these TV lads get there. Dan Gosling, the ex-Everton player, is now on, and Newcastle as well. I don't know where these TV boys get all these statistics from, but they must be saddos. They must be saddos. Football's an entertainment. Statistics are just a little spice there. You can throw in a couple of statistics during the commentary and stuff, as John Egan lies still on his watch is injured. So we're still got a breaking play. But the statistics side of it, it's just boring and tedious. I think these stats people need to get a life. And just enjoy the football. Enjoy what the game's actually worth. Who's bothered about statistics? The very dedicated followers of football. That's how John Egan hurt himself. It was in a collision with Menage. And I'm pleased to report he's up on his feet all right, John Egan. Remember, Sheffield United have used all their substitutions. They've used all 5 of them. And one of them was an enforced one for an injury to Edgar Stevens. So, and the other 4 have been for tactical reasons and to try and get fresh legs on the field. So Sheffield United temporarily down to 10 men. Forwardham's free kick. towards the penalty area, flicked on, looking for Sharp. It just won't break for Sheffield United in that area. 2 minutes of normal time to go, plus any injury time. Looks like Watford are on course for 3 important points, unless Sheffield United can do something spectacular in the remaining 90 seconds plus injury time that remains. No, not this time. They got the throwing all wrong, and it's another throw this time for Watford, and they'll take their time, unsurprisingly, over this. Well, you'd think Seamer will. Well, is it for Craig Cathcart? But Rob Edwards, good result for him. That'll give him a lot of confidence, and he's had a lot of confidence. There was a lot of eyebrows raised when they got him from Forest Green Rovers. Was it a risky appointment, considering that he's never managed it in club level terms? He's never managed higher than League Two. But the Potter's thought he could do a job. And, well, at the moment, so far so good. The honeymoon period is up and running so far, unless Sheffield United can find a goal from somewhere now in the remaining minutes. Can Kadira find something? Here's John Fleck. Kadira on the overlap. They need something now, surely. Kadira does really well to shake off the defenders and then plays an awful ball. And Sheffield United lose possession. 30 seconds of normal time to play. Still 1-0 to Watford as the ball is spread forward again. That's how the play. It will be a throw to Watford. So 15 seconds of normal time left, and I doubt we'll get confirmation from Gavin Ward, the fourth official, to see how long they will be at the end. And in fact, I better choose a player of the match. I'm going to choose, with 6 added minutes anyway, so there's still time left for Sheffield United. I'm going to choose a player of the match. It's very difficult for me to say, but I have to say, I must admit, I think if you're looking for midfield creators, I have to say, well, just break off for a second or two. Here's Emmanuel Dennis, who keeps that one in, but it's lost there. And Sheffield United come away with the ball. I will pick a player of the match in a second or two. Don't worry, folks. I haven't forgotten. It's just that the game has ebbed and flowed with so many talking points that we haven't had a chance to look at it now. I will pick a player of the match as soon as the ball goes out of play next. In fact, we'll pick it now. I'm going to go for Watford's João Pedro. He's been at the heart of everything good, and then he scored the goal. So João Pedro is our player of the match, sponsored by Commentary Services, and the reason, as I say, is because he's been at the hub of all things good about the game so far today. He's had an all-round good team performance and has capped it off with a great finish. Well, Sheffield United will argue to the night whether that should have been allowed with Sarr being offside of the build-up, but at the end of the day, we're still going to stuck the ball in the back of the net. João Pedro certainly did that with some aplomb. And he's our player of the match, sponsored, of course, by Commentary Services. Couple has been penalised. Free kick to Sheffield United. We played nearly 2 minutes of the 6th, so still 4 minutes to go. Free kick was tossed in, but it's been headed up once again. It's not been the greatest of games. It's been more of a battle than a free-flowing game of football. And it has got bitty. There's been several yellow cards dished out by referee Josh Smith, but in the main he's done okay. The only beef I think Paul Heckingbottom will have with any of the officials is the linesman on the near side. That's Akil Hausen. That's definitely a pull there from Sanderberg and a definite yellow card for the Norwegian. So a free kick to Watford, which again will take the time. But then again, this is what Josh Smith has to do now. It's at his discretion now how long they should be permitted to take free kicks and the like. It's going to get to a stage now where players are going to take the mickey, and the referees are well within their rights to add time on at the end of time added on. They're not obliged to blow after 6 minutes, you know. Here comes Sheffield United now. Here can they just find something with Norrington Davis. Norrington Davis into the path of Kadira. Kadira's got Norrington Davis. Can he get the ball in? Kadira gets it back again. Needs to be a good cross. Kadira did get the ball in, but it's out of play. Yeah, throw-in level with the 18-yard box to Sheffield United, who are 3 minutes away from defeat here. 3 minutes plus any extra time on top of the time that we've already had. Throw taken, Khedira can't reach. Watford defending well, cleverly now, just boots it away. Safety first from Tom Cleverly, using all that experience he gained at Manchester United and all that before him. He knows exactly what is required, the former England man. Used to be an England regular back in the day, certainly when Roy Hodgson was manager. Those days are a figure of the past now for Tom Cleverly, of course. As Billy Sharp now trying to get himself involved in the action. Sharp gets the ball in, but Watford keeping it by their own byline and do exceptionally well. 2 of the 6 minutes remain. And Watford still hanging on in there, but actually looking quite comfortable. Sheffield United don't look as if they're going to break Watford down. No, they do have a free kick, however, as the ball goes back to Fomingham. Another yellow card being brandished by Mr. Smith. And that time, it was a foul on John Fleck by Hassan Kamara. So another free kick then. The Ivory Coast man booked. And a free kick now right at the end for Sheffield United. About a minute and quarter, about 75 seconds of stoppage time to play. Just stretches a minimum off. Mr. Smith could add a time on at the end of time added on. Sheffield United have a chance in there. Billy Sharp can't get it out from under his feet. And in the end, Watford clear. That was a hairy moment then for Rob Edwards' side. But it's Emmanuel Dennis leading the charge. He's got Menage in the penalty area. Tries to pick out Menage, but he can't be found. We're inside the last minute of the 6. Still Watford 1, Sheffield United 0 in the Championship. Player of the match was João Pedro. And he's also the player of the match on TV as well. Goals, first rank. Shots on target, first rank. He's been practically good ranked on everything, really, statistical-wise. But I'm sure there's more than that. And there's a Watford player, a Sheffield United player gone down there. Sam Bolduc is injured. I'm not sure what for. We'll have to find out what that was all about. Referee standing over him at the moment. We're getting towards the end where I wonder what it is. Is it a free kick to Watford or a throw in to Watford? It's a throw in to Watford. And we're now played the 6 minutes. We're now playing time on at the end of time added on. At the end of time added on. It's all at Mr. Smith's discretion now. Watford get the throw. Looks like a victory for Watford. A few of their fans are leaving it early, which I don't quite get. Maybe to avoid traffic. It is a Monday night. After all, the referee's about to put the whistle to his mouth, and there goes the whistle. So a win for Rob Edwards on his debut game as Watford's manager. And 3 points. It wasn't a pretty win by any stretch of the imagination. Sheffield United will have a few gripes with the linesman on the near side. Aki Lawson. Was Ismail Sarr offside in the build-up to the goal scored by João Pedro, the player of the match? Well, that will be debated long after the game, but what won't change, really, even despite the protestations from Sheffield United, is the fact that Watford wanted it more on the night. Sheffield United huffed and puffed, but just weren't good enough on the night to break the Watford resolve. It's a deserved win in a lot of respects for Watford. They were the better side statistically, and in every other department they out-muscled, harassed, and outdid Sheffield United. And João Pedro scored the winning goal. They will argue Sheffield United, but when Paul Higginbottom looks at it in the cold light of day, then I think he has to put his hand up and say, well played, Watford. They were, on the day, a better side. Thankfully, it's all ending in smiles and applause and cheers and handshakes. And the final score here at Vicarage Road, 3 points for Watford tonight. Winners over Sheffield United by 1-0.
Thank you very much there to JB for excellent coverage throughout on the game this evening. Watford with their win up to 7th after one round of matches. Behind Cardiff, Burnley, Blackpool, Blackburn, Millwall and Hull in the league table. Sheffield United are in the bottom three, as are Huddersfield Town and as are Stoke City as well after the day number one and match round number one of the season. Rotherham United, any of their fans are listening in, you are sitting in 13th place in the table and you're a point above Sheffield United. And like Paul Warren said after the weekend draw with Swansea, Rotherham need 70 more points and they could be a playoff contender. Sheffield United need a miracle after that result. Poor from them today, in my opinion. Watford deserved winners and a João Pedro goal settled it. Worthy of being player of the match as well. Sheffield United 6 attempts to Watford's 10. 4 on target for Watford. Just 3 on target for Sheffield United. There is work to do for Paul Leckingbottom's side, who start this season as they ended last season in defeat. They lost out in the playoffs on penalties it was, and this time they lost their opening game of the season by a goal to nil. Watford and Burnley, the only two teams from the Premier League to get off to a winning start. Norwich, as you may remember me mentioning, lost on the opening day of the season. And some top scorers in the Championship, early pace setters. Charlie Creswell is at the top with 2. Then there's actually Jack Clark, Connolly, Darling, Gyökeres, Pedro, Jones, Matson, Ogbene, Sawyers, Seri, Swift, Travers, Tufan, Vyman, Barnes, all up there. Barnes, Gooch, Grimes, Edges, Uniman, Malone, O'Dowda, Panzo, Sarr, Viner, Wallace all got an assist. The players above from Vyman, Tufan, Travis Swift, Seri, Sawyers, Ogbene, Matson, Jones, Pedro, Gyökeres, Darling, Connolly, Clark with a goal, and Creswell has got 2. That's your standings in the Championship for top scorer and the league table come the end of match week number 1. As JB mentioned earlier on in the programme, we've got another live football match later on to tell you about, but just to bring you some breaking news from the Championship. And Blackburn Rovers this evening have announced the signing of Peterborough United attacker Sammy Szmodics. Szmodics, the 26-year-old, has arrived on a 3-year deal for an undisclosed fee. He is signed through to 2025, which also includes an option for a further 12 months in Blackburn's favour. He is Blackburn's second signing of the day after the unveiling of Tyler Morton on a season-long loan from Liverpool, which happened earlier today. Sammy Szmodics travelled up to Lancashire earlier today to finalise the move, and has since passed the medical. He will train with the squad for the first time tomorrow in preparation for the trip to Swansea City. Dan McAntony, the Peterborough chairman, said Sammy and his wonderful family will be missed. A true posh legend who lit up a fuse under us to get promoted back to the Championship 2 years ago. Deserve this move, and I will be a fan from afar. That's the words from Dan McAntony as Sammy Szmodics leaves Peterborough to join Blackburn Rovers. Bit of Championship breaking news there in the last few minutes. As well, and speaking of Sammy Szmodics, just 13 hours ago, he put, "Please contact me if anyone sees my car." And then his partner put out, "Our car was stolen last night off our driving mountainous Brentwood. If anyone sees a black Range Rover Sport, please let them know. It has a car seat, golf clubs and pram in it. If anything is thinking of getting a Ring doorbell, don't bother. Sammy Smolik's partner is said so. Hopefully Sammy and his partner can find their car very, very shortly as well. So if you see that, please get in touch with us and we'll put via Twitter at Commentary Live 1 and we'll patch you in touch, Sammy Smolik's and his family regarding that. So thank you very much for listening to the Commentary Hub. Just before we go, I did say we've got a match on Friday to tell you about, didn't I? I almost forgot to do that just then. Let me tell you about that one we've got coming up next weekend. To tell you about starting this coming Friday. And we've got the opening game of the Championship season. No, Championship. We've just had that. Opening game of the Premier League season. As JB, you just heard from tonight, John Stuttard, he'll be back in the commentary seat as Crystal Palace take on Arsenal. Next Sunday, we'll hopefully have the live match between West Ham United and Manchester City in the Premier League with Paul James. And then hopefully next Monday you will have another live championship match for West Bromwich Albion against Watford. West Brom got a point to the weekend against Middlesbrough. They'll be looking for more in their first home game. Watford off the mark with 3 points today. They'll be looking to back that up with a win over West Brom at the Hawthorns next week. Can hear that with myself. Russ Vernon getting you through that action on next Monday. Kick-off is at the same time of 8 o'clock. So that's what we've got coming up next week on the channel. A very big thank you to everyone who's listened in today, listened to the commentary from yesterday, listen back to the commentary from the Community Shield as well. Very big thank you to any one of those as well. But for myself, JB, and the rest of the team this evening, we'd like to thank you very much. And just one final thing, just as we part, for myself, JB, and everyone here at the Commentary Hub, we hope the fan that was involved in the medical emergency in the Sheffield United end this evening, we hope that supporter in question, male or female, is okay and they're fighting fit once again very, very soon. So from everyone here at the Commentary Hub, thank you very much for listening. Thank you to our partners, JB Sports, Storm FM as well. And thank you to those listening on Twitch. Hope you've had a ball this evening. From myself, Russ, and from JB, very good evening. Goodbye.